In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 1, we looked at this right-hand riff. We also looked at this right-hand lick. As well as this left-hand bass line. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 2, we looked at this right-hand riff. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 3, we looked at this right-hand riff. As well as this right-hand lick. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 4, we looked at this right-hand riff. As well as a couple of different variations. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 5, we looked at this right-hand riff. Again, with a few different variations. And then in Blues Piano Tutorial Part 6, we looked at this right-hand blues riff. Again, with a few different variations. Another right-hand riff that you can use with this bass line, or any other for that matter, is this. Okay, so you might have noticed that the first part of this riff is the same riff that we learned in Part 6, which was... So what we're going to do is we'll go over that riff again and then we'll look at the second part of the riff, which is different. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the notes D and G together. Then while holding down G, I'm going to play E flat, D, then I'm going to play C on its own. So then I'm going to cross over and play A on its own, G, and then A again, and then G and C together. So D and G together, hold down G, play E flat, D, play C and lift off G, cross over to play A, then G, then A, then G and C together. Okay, so the fingers I'm using to play the first part of the riff, I'm playing D with the index finger and G with the little finger. I'm going to hold down G with the little finger and I'm going to play E flat with the middle finger, D with the index finger, C with the thumb. Then I'm going to lift off G with the little finger when I play C. Cross over with the middle finger to play A. Play G with the index finger, A with the middle finger. And then for G and C I'm going to use the index finger and the little finger. So again, the fingers you can use for the first part of the riff are the index finger and little finger for D and G. Hold down G with the little finger, play E flat with the middle finger, D with the index finger, C with the thumb, and at the same time you want to lift off the G with the little finger. Cross over with the middle finger to play A, play G with the index finger, A again with the middle finger, and then G and C with the index finger and little finger. To counter the first part of the riff, you would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the key here is you want to play the C, so 1 and, so the C you need to play on the and of beat 1, 1 and then 2 and 3 and. So on the and of beat 3 you want to finish the riff with G and C. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you just want to hit the G and C, you don't want to hold it down. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's look now at the second part of the riff. So the second part of the riff, there's a simplified version and a more complicated version. Let's look at the more simplified version first. So we're going to play the notes F and B flat together. Then what we're going to do is we're going to quickly slide up to the note G while holding down B flat. So we get this sound. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down and we're going to play F on its own. Then we're going to come down to play E flat and then C. So we get. So again, that's F and B flat, hold down B flat, slide up quickly from F to G flat to G. So then we're going to play F on its own, E flat on its own, then C on its own. The fingers you could use to play the second part of the riff, the more simplified version, you could use the thumb on F and the little finger on B flat. Then hold down B flat with the little finger. And then because we're sliding very quickly, it's best to use different fingers for those notes. So we play F with the thumb, B flat with the little finger, hold down B flat with the little finger, and we're going to use the index finger for G flat and the middle finger for G. And then what we're going to do is we're going to play F with the thumb on its own, then we're going to cross over or cross down with the middle finger to play E flat, and then C with the thumb. So again, the fingers you could use are the thumb and little finger for F and B flat, hold down B flat with the little finger, use the index finger to play G flat, middle finger to play G, then play F on its own with the thumb, cross over or down with the middle finger to play E flat, and then C with the thumb. To counter this second part of the riff, you would count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The more complicated version of the riff, the only difference is that instead of just going up like this, we're literally going to go up and then we're going to come back down simply to play G flat with the index finger, so you get. And then we play the exact same thing. So the only difference is this note coming back down. So, and it can be a little difficult to get used to, but you still count it the same way. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you want to practice this very slowly. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I suggest that you start with the more simplified version. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then when you feel more comfortable, practice the more complicated version a lot slower. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And when you speed up and you get more faster at playing it, it needs to be pretty smooth for you to play the F on the underbeat one. And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See, it's quite difficult to count when you're playing it quickly. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That'll probably take you a few days to actually get used to playing it. So don't give up on it, just take your time with it. That's why I've thrown in the more simplified version, so you can play it straight away with the left hand. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put both parts of the riff together. So we have the first part, which is the same as part 6. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again. 1 and time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're also going to create a lick out of this first part of the riff, and all we're going to do is we're going to play this part, and we're going to hold down G when we play the C when we do this lick. So all it is we're just repeating the D and G, E flat, D, C, and then we're just repeating it while holding down G. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to do that over bar 9 up to bar 10. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then to end on bar, when we get to bar 10, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and on the end of beat 4 on bar 10, we're actually going to play a C6 chord, which is E, G, A, C. So that's a G6 chord, and the fingers I'm using are the thumb for E, the index finger for G, middle finger for A, and the little finger for C. So from bar 10 it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And you can hold that down for the remainder of the 12th bar, or the 11th and 12th bar. So again, from bar 9 we're actually going to play the lick, then on bar 10 we're going to play the first part of the riff, but instead of going here we're actually going to end with an E, G, A and C, which is a C6 chord on the end of beat 4 on bar 10. So bar 9, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then bar 10, and then on the end of beat 4, 4 and 1, and then we hold it down for bar 11, bar 12, and then we can carry on throughout the 12 bar form if we want to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this riff to the left hand. I'll start by using the simplified version of the second part of the riff, and then I'll play through again with the more complicated version. So to put it to the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and again 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Sorry, I'm doing a more complicated part there because I've actually practiced it for the last day or two. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 you do the exact same thing over F as well. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so that's how you put both hands together. And I'll do it one more time very slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now I'll do it very slowly but with the more complicated version. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through slowly, starting with the simplified version, and then the second time round the 12 bar blues form I'll play the complicated version. So, and also I'll play the lick that we created and end with the C6 chord. So bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, bar 5, bar 6, bar 7, bar 8, then bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4, bar 5, bar 6, bar 7, bar 8, bar 9, bar 10, bar 11, bar 12. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the 12-bar blues form twice up to speed. The first time with the simplified version and the second time with the more complicated version. And of course from bar 9 I'll use the lick that we created and end with the C6 chord. So the simplified version.